Hi everybody, Will here with another Will-Ditorial. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm not talking about Arkham Origins. That was the last Will-Ditorial, which by the way, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I forgot to throw out my Twitter handle in the last video. That was my fault. It's at WPadden if you'd like to tweet me. I also have a Facebook. Now let's move on. I am going to bring up what I think might be a very controversial subject, and a subject that my good friend, or at least everybody says he's my good friend, Mr. Flashback, might, chide me for, or maybe he might, praise me for, I don't know. I'm going to talk about how I feel about Warner Brothers, because sometimes Warner Brothers just does things that piss me the fuck off. For example, speaking of Arkham Origins, the voice actor who's playing Batman, Roger Craig Smith. Why the fuck would Warner Brothers not have Kevin Conroy voice the character outright? I understand it's supposed to be a younger version of Batman. I understand that Roger Craig Smith is trying to sound like sort of Kevin Conroy-ish with his voice. It's fucking stupid! For the love of God. Forgive me. It doesn't make sense to me. This is what Warner Brothers does. They get a franchise like, for example, Man of Steel comes out Friday. Technically, it comes out tomorrow because there's a midnight show, but it comes out Friday.
It already came out because we're a week early right now. Shh.
Man of Steel comes out this week. Warner Brothers will praise the success that it makes, and then they'll say, oh, we gotta rush into production on this Justice League movie so we can compete with Avengers 2. No! You fucking morons! This is your problem. You get a little bit of success, you make money, and then it's like you get your head stuck up your fucking asses. Seriously. Think for one fucking second. Yes, I just referenced the Christian Bale Terminator Salvation, rant. Think for one fucking second. For fuck's sake. I mean, honestly. Look at all the other studios that produce movies. Look at Disney. Disney is very successful because the films they make, they care about making good quality films. They don't care about the money. They don't care about the oodles of cash that they're going to make peddling out, the next Monsters Incorporated movie, Monsters University. They don't care about, look at the Toy Story movies. All three of those movies were superb.
Yes.
Am I right?
Oh God,
Owen?
yes. We're leading
Did
toward
they
the fourth,
care
too.
about... Yes, that's what I've heard. Did they care about making money?
No.
What did they care about?
Care about quality. Quality and entertaining their masses.
That is what Disney cares about.
I'm a Walt Disney guy.
They care about... I know you are. They
Yes.
care about
Proud of it.
quality and making the best damn films they can possibly make. It's the same with Paramount. It's the same with, well, Lionsgate can sometimes be a red herring, but,
They just love their horror franchises.
It's the same with MGM and the Bond franchise. Look at what Cubby Broccoli started in 1962 with Dr. No. And all the way to now, Skyfall. We've had 23 James Bond films. Some have been great, some have been good, some have been bad. But you know what? Anytime there was a bad Bond movie, the producers, Michael Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, what have they done? They've come back and they've made an exceptional Bond film. Am I right?
I'm not a Bond guy, but...
Fair statement. You were about to
Skyfall?
say absolutely.
Yeah.
But fair statement.
It was alright.
Look at Quantum of Solace.
Ugh.
Quantum
No.
of Solace was not the best.
It's terrible.
Then what did we have? Skyfall. Skyfall was brilliant.
Skyfall was good.
Skyfall was amazing. That's That's the point. They realize when they make a mistake, and they say, you know what, we didn't do our best, we'll do better. They care about their fans and about the masses. They don't care about the money.
Nope.
They know that the Bond franchise is going to make them money. It has for 23 films. Skyfall was the highest grossing James Bond film of all time. It was the first Bond film to reach the $1 billion mark.
True.
The very first one. Not only that, it's also, in my opinion, next to some of the films that Pierce Brosnan did, such as Goldeneye, for example, in my opinion, it probably ranks up there with, Sean Connery's third Bond film, Goldfinger, as, being one of the biggest Bond blockbusters in the past, 10, 15 years. That's a fair statement. All of these other studios, they don't care about the money. They want to make the best films they can possibly can.
Absolutely.
You fuckers care about the fucking money.
Yeah.
I'm not lying when I say this. It's the honest to God truth. You care about money. That's all. It's like, who cares if this film is crap? As long as we make a profit, we're good. No. Look at Batman and Robin. Yeah, you knew I was going to go there. You fucking knew. Did you care how good Batman and Robin was? No. You know what you cared about? How many toys you could sell to kids. That's what you cared about. You cared about making the film toyetic. That's not even a fucking word. I don't understand how you fucking made that up. It ain't a fucking word. You care about money. When Man of Steel comes out, what are you going to do? You're not going to say, you may have a representative come out and say, yes, we're very pleased with the success of the film, but all of you corporate bastards will be like, money, 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 money. And you'll be like, show me the money, and you'll be throwing the money up in the air celebrating because the money was your next the movie was your next cash cow, and you made a fucking profit. That's what you fucking care about. Granted, yes, Man of Steel will probably be good. It won't be as brilliant as Chris Nolan's Batman franchise, but I'm biased.
Yes, very much so.
Even though I respect Superman and what he stands for.
Yeah.
I just don't like him. To me, Batman's the more relatable character.
Agreed.
And the better character. But that's a subject for a different day.
Also agreed.
Regardless, you only care about the money. That's all you guys have ever really cared about, in my opinion. I mean, my God. You go through this period where you have these really successful films. Then, you think because your name is Warner Brothers and you're the god of all movie companies, all movie studios, that if you slap your name on a piece of crap that you know is going to suck, it doesn't matter to you as long as you make some sort of profit from it. You don't see Disney doing that. You don't see Pixar doing that. You don't see Lionsgate doing that, although again, that's, like I said, that can be a red herring. You don't see MGM Sony doing that. You don't see Nickelodeon Studios doing that. Hell, yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here. You don't even see WWE films doing that. Okay? Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, you did.
I went there. I put WWE films over Warner Brothers.
You're not going back from that statement either.
No, I am not. You know why? Because it's true.
Okay.
Why should I lie about that? I'm not lying. Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It makes me think that there are several companies that put the film first. And, okay, take independent film, for example. They really don't make any money. Then you have stuff like that gets brought out and it somehow becomes mainstream. And that doesn't happen all the time. And there's the little movie that could, but, I mean, that happens every once in a while.
That's a good reference, I like that.
Yeah. But, I mean, you've got, like, stuff that it makes, like, $5 in the box office. I mean, you have things that don't, like, open in one theater for, like, 4 hours, and that's it.
If a Warner Brothers film made $5, this is what Warner Brothers executives would do. They would be like, thank you, and put it in their pocket.
We made $5. That's $5 we did not have in the first place.
Go on.
Okay. Well, basically, there's a lot of reasons why film companies do what they do.
I know there are.
Basically, you have the independent film companies, you have your Focus Features, you have your Fox Searchlight, you have your Magnolia Pictures, and what have you, and they don't make that much money. But if they're obviously doing it for the art, they're not doing it to make money.
Right, but if you're talking big corporate studios, we're talking, Disney, we're talking Pixar, we're talking Nickelodeon, we're talking MGM, Sony, we're talking Warner Brothers. Of those 5 studios that I just mentioned, 4 of them care more about what they put on the screen than the money that they make. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. You've got Warner Brothers is it's a proven commodity. It always has been.
Before you go on, don't get me wrong. There have been times Warner Brothers has restored my faith in them, but then there are times when I just want to, fucking ram my fist through a wall and be like, seriously? That's the shit you're gonna produce? And it just blows my mind. Continue. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. So basically Warner Brothers is the house that the Looney Tunes built.
Yes.
We're going back to the day. We're going back to Bugs Bunny back in the day.
The house that Bugs Bunny built.
Exactly.
Yes.
The house that Bugs Bunny built.
Actually, I will say this. After that, it also became the house that Batman built.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, actually. Basically, you want to look at stuff that Warner Brothers has done. I mean, it's made Batman, it made it brand new again.
And why? Because they actually cared.
Yep.
They learned the lesson from Batman and Robin. They finally said, well, shit, that movie fucking sucked. Yeah. We need to take a long, hard look at restoring this character to glory and making sure we do it right. And now that they have, my biggest concern is that when we do this Justice League movie, or we do this, not Batman reboot, but we bring Batman back, that it's gonna, that it's gonna be like 97 all over again, which I'm praying to God that's not true.
I'm sure you don't want that to ever happen again.
The hell no. Continue.
I mean, okay, so Warner Brothers put their stock on Harry Potter. And Harry Potter made a lot of money. I mean, it made, like, billions of dollars.
But not all the movies were good.
That's up to interpretation.
Now, I'm not saying that to piss off any Harry Potter fans. I'm just saying some of the movies were better than the other ones.
Your Potter marks are now angry at you.
I'm sure that they probably are, but I think they understand that I have a point.
Of course.
Some of the other, like, The Sorcerer's Stone, I saw that one. I thought that one was good. I can't remember what the second one was. Wow. That
is pretty bad.
That's actually horrible. Maybe because the second one had a giant snake in it, and I don't like snakes.
Yes! Yes, exactly!
Same
problem I've got.
But, still, I thought Sorcerer's Stone was good. But then, some of the others, like, what was the one that came out before, The Deathly Hallows? Prisoner of Azkaban? No, it wasn't Azkaban.
Azkaban was awesome.
It was,
Order of the Phoenix.
People said they didn't enjoy that one very much, from what I heard. Some people just said it was a little... They said it was weak.
It was alright.
They said it was a weak entry into the... and granted, that does happen.
Yeah.
But if we were going to compile all the Harry Potter movies together and pick which ones were the best, I bet we could name 3 or 4 that were not as good as some of the others.
Yeah, that's how you do with a franchise. I mean, Warner Brothers and Batman are pretty much what... I'm sorry. Yeah, Warner Brothers has Batman and Harry Potter. That's the big guns they've got, honestly. I'm looking here. I'll shoot with you guys. I'm looking here at Wiki right now because that's just what I do, and I'm looking at the different franchises that have come out of here. Will is flipping off the screen right now.
No, because I saw Batman and Robin. I flipped off the screen.
Okay, fine. Hey, it's your favorite Wild Wild West movie.
Mr. West.
We'll talk about that later. Maybe Mr. Flashback will do Wild Wild West. Who knows?
Yep, and maybe some of the Pokemon movies I'm seeing.
There's Pokemon movies. Yeah, there's obviously.
The Powerpuff Girls had a movie.
One of our newest podcaster, Molly, definitely shares this love with me. A Walk to Remember, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I saw that. It was.
I get a lot of crap for liking that movie, but you know what you can do with your hat.
I had no idea the Powerpuff Girls had a movie. That's a first.
The Oceans movies, the Scooby-Doo movies. God, they're responsible for this god-awful blue-collar comedy movies. They're the reason Dan Whitney has a job. That's not cool. Mystic River's on this list, and I'm looking at all these awesome... Polar Express. Polar Express was amazing.
Yes.
I said before Hanks could read the phone book, and I'd watch. So, they did Million Dollar Baby, they did the Phantom of the Opera, they did The Aviator. There's all sorts of awesome movies here. Superman Returns. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about Superman. Yeah, let's look at that. Because that movie, my friend Ben, not Ben Sams that you all know on the channel, but my other friend Ben, who's a big Superman fan, did not like Superman Returns.
Superman Returns is really good. You just have to get yourself understanding the fact that it's a long, long origin movie. And if you've seen the origin already, it's kind of like the absolute reverse of what Mark Webb did with The Amazing Spider-Man when they rebooted it.
I think that's a fair assessment.
And with the original Spider-Man movies, they were fine for what they were, but Mark Webb just took a brand new different turn. And they did the origin story, but they made it a lot more relatable, and I like that. So,
I see on this list, I do see some movies that were good, The
Departed, The Prestige.
Departed, 300, Happy Feet, We Are Marshall, TMNT, I heard, was not very well accepted.
Stay away.
Although Patrick Stewart playing a bad guy, that's pretty awesome because hello, was Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
They did Sweeney Todd. They did My Precious Get Smart movie.
We come across one of my films that I love, The Dark Knight.
Nah, he was looking at Nice and Danty.
No, I was looking at the Dark Knight. Thank you.
Yeah, Gran Torino, Slumdog Millionaire, the little movie that I talked about. That was a Warner Brothers movie. And Watchmen, which you need to watch now. Watchmen's amazing.
Terminator Salvation, which I saw.
Orphan, a really underrated horror film. Where the Wild Things Are, The Informant. Shorts.
So yes, they have had hits.
Observe and Report.
They have had hits. Yeah. That's not the point I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make is that...
Let me go further in the year.
Is that they have a tendency to, when they're successful...
Rest on their laurels?
Exactly, yes. To shove their heads up their asses and say, well, you know what? We've made some good movies. Oh, we can go make crap now.
Come on. The Best Picture that I talked about, forever, and if you guys remember from the channel, when we were doing the award recaps, I said this numerous times. Time in, time out. I said, Ben Affleck's going to win for Argo. Ben Affleck's going to win for Argo. And what happened? Argo won Best Picture this year, and I was very happy with that. Warner Brothers did some great films. Like I said, we've got... Great Gatsby was awesome. I'm sorry, AJ, I liked the movie. And Cloud Atlas is amazing. Not enough people saw that movie.
The Dark Knight Rises
Magic Mike was awesome. Rock of Ages.
The Dark Knight Rises.
I'm trying to stay away from Batman.
Well,
but that's just obvious.
You can't really stay away from that. They did the Sherlock
Holmes movies, too.
Yes, they did.
And the Sherlock Holmes movies are gold.
Yes.
J. Edgar was great. The Artist, another little movie that could, independent film, was the Weinsteins and Warner Brothers.
Happy Feet 2.
Yeah, you've got the Final Destination movies, Horrible Bosses. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Arthur. Of course, I have a soft spot for Greta. That's the reason why we're going to Francis Ha this week. And there's a lot of... The Guardians of Gahul, The Legend of the Guardians. That was great. The Town was awesome.
What about Yogi Bear?
Inception is amazing. Check it out as soon as possible.
Seen that.
Oh my god, you need to watch it
Hey, what you think? What about Yogi Bear?
No, don't talk about that.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Justin Timberlake and the other
see what I mean?
Oh
now you see the point I'm making.
Timberlake and Dan Aykroyd, and they totally wasted.
You see the point?
They ruined
you heard
Yogi
him
Bear.
mention Inception, all these other movies. Then I said Yogi Bear, and what was Owen's reaction? Do it again. See? That's my
Really?
point. They
I
think
turned
if they can
Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino.
they have this feeling that if they stick their name on crap, it's going to be successful.
Look at the Hangover movies. That's crap. And
Although
it's successful, too.
Although, for the record, I like the Hangover movies.
Yeah, so does everyone in the free world, but I got my reason I like that movie. And since AJ's not here right now, I can actually tell you guys, but you know, I'm not going to. I'm going to kind of reserve myself, and I'm not going to mention anything.
Another example
I'm just going to say I don't like the movie.
Another example I can mention is Green Lantern. That movie I heard was not very well
Green
received.
Lantern was underrated, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. I've seen a lot worse. There's a lot worse on this list.
Yeah, actually, I agree with that. Like Harold and Kumar's, a very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
I'm telling you, there's the Journey movies, the Journey to the Center of the Earth movies, the one with Brendan Fraser, and the one with Dwayne Johnson.
No, call him what he is, The Rock.
He's Dwayne Johnson right now, until he works again. He's Dwayne Johnson.
He's still, to me, he will always be Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's not like Steve Austin calls himself Stone Cold Steve Williams.
No, but he still calls himself Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He does, because that's his name, so everybody knows him as. But no, I mean, there's some god-awful crap in this list. Project X is garbage. I'm sorry, LCD, but Project X was crap.
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows is actually good. Joyful Noise sucked. I mean, Chernobyl Diaries sucked. Basically, Warner Brothers can't make good horror movies either.
No,
I mean,
can't.
they hit with Orphan. Orphan was awesome. And then
Sucker Punch.
The Right is terrible.
There's
Jonah
an example.
Hex is terrible.
Yeah, I saw Jonah. Turnbull! Brum.
The Losers was good.
Ben and I saw that movie.
Like The Losers. Losers was good.
But no, Sucker Punch, that's an example.
Sucker Punch, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. And that's funny that you're bringing him up because Zack Snyder is the one who's behind Man of Steel.
Yes.
And Zack Snyder also did Watchmen and 300 and...
Here's an example. A Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw that one.
It was good. I thought Jackie Earle Haley did a great job. He's not Robert Englund.
Of course, I'm not really a big horror guy.
He's not Robert Englund. He never will be, but he was good. Jackie Earle Haley was also in Watchmen, too.
Yeah, those movies used to give me nightmares as a kid. Still do.
Halloween Horror Nights coming up on September 20th. Opening night. Looking forward to it, guys. It's going to be fun. I mean, there's some really god-awful crap in here. And there's some,
The Campaign.
Campaign's not that bad. The Miz is in the campaign for like 2 seconds, and his speaking parts got cut. I mean, Beautiful Creatures is an underrated film. Bullet to the Head is an underrated film. I never thought I'd say that. Bullet to the Head was awesome, and Gangster Squad was really good.
You heard it here first. A Stallone film.
Yeah, it was good though. I mean, there's a lot of crap on this list, but there's a lot of good stuff too. So I mean, you get the good with the bad with Warner Brothers, honestly. And this is just talking about movies.
Oftentimes, there's more bad than there is good.
Yeah.
Which is
Zodiac.
Which is a sad but true fact.
Blood Diamond. I mean, these are great films. Great films you need to check out as soon as possible.
I'm trying to think of other...
Will's looking at this list too, just like we are.
Yeah.
They did V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is amazing too.
I heard that was good. Yeah.
And there's a lot of things. They did Dukes of Hazzard, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They did Constantine.
House of Wax was... not their best effort.
Not really.
Except for the part where Paris Hilton dies. I heard that was funny.
Oh, by the way, just a heads up, guys. Just a quick programming note. AJ's actually going to be reviewing the House of Wax movies for original versus remake coming up very soon. I don't know when exactly, but I know it's coming up before the year is over. And we're going to be using October to go into horror movies. So horror movies are going to be highlighted here on Pop.
But my point is that they have a tendency to rest on their laurels. And they do it a lot.
Exactly.
They don't, like, when Man of Steel hits, and they make the money off that, they'll say, okay, we made a good movie, now we can go make a crappy movie. You know what? I mean, I'm not just saying this.
No.
I have an eyewitness here in Sir Owen, and it's fact. It's pure fact. I mean, my God. The Batman franchise, and yeah, I know, we bring it up, but it's because it's their, to me, that's their cornerstone. It always has been. Since they started making those. The Batman franchise, after Batman and Robin, was completely shattered for 10 years. It took them 10 years to learn from that mistake. And then we got Batman Begins in 2005, and it was like, hallelujah.
We get a villain that's
They
not been
got
played
it
to
right.
death either.
Exactly. It was like, hallelujah, they got it right. They did it right. Finally. After I had been begging since Batman and Robin for them to please not screw this up any further, they finally got the hint. They finally started to care. And they realize they have to do these superhero characters correctly if they want the audience to accept these movies. They're starting to learn that lesson. But then, I see all this crap about this fucking Justice League movie, and it's like, oh, we gotta rush this into production to, compete with Avengers 2. No, you don't.
They're not going to.
You need to do the other Superman sequels first. You need to figure out what you're gonna do about bringing Batman into the Justice League world. You need to do a Wonder Woman film, since she's a part of the big three. You need to redo Green Lantern.
Green Lantern's fine. You just have to understand what you're getting yourself into.
You need to make a Flash film.
I don't think that's going to get over.
And you need to do something with Martian Manhunter. Since they are the ones that make up the 7 members of the Justice League.
Aquaman.
Well, Hawk Girl was in it in the Bruce Timm DCU animated show, which, by the way, I'll be doing a retrospective of the animated Batman.
We're all about plugging today.
That I will. It's going to take me a while to do, but it should be interesting, including certain episodes from Batman Beyond and Justice League. Anyway,
I want to talk animated in a second.
Moving on, but in the DCU animated realm, Bruce Timm had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. There was your big 3.
Got it.
Flash, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Martian Manhunter. Aquaman was in an episode. He was not part of the team.
I thought he was part of the original team.
He did not come in until Justice League Unlimited, when they expanded the roster for more characters in the animated version, because, no offense, Aquaman's useless. Okay? He's probably the most worthless superhero that you can think of. He's basically Mermaid Man. Okay, yeah, I went there. He's basically Mermaid Man without wearing a bra.
I figured you were going there.
I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. He's basically fucking Mermaid Man. That's how it is. And I love SpongeBob.
That's how you really feel.
I love SpongeBob. Sir Owen will tell you that I love SpongeBob.
SpongeBob retrospective coming soon.
And I love Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, which are basically Batman and Robin.
Yes.
From the 60s.
Indeed.
But Aquaman is basically Mermaid Man. Because they're the same power. They can summon sea creatures. Aquaman can do the exact same thing. It's the same premise. Aquaman is useless. If I were a member of the Justice League and we voted to drown Aquaman, I think everybody would vote unanimously.
You're advocating killing a man because he's useless.
No, I'm advocating, getting rid of someone because I don't like them.
It's the same thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was a little extreme. If we had a vote to kick Aquaman out of the Justice League, and I were in the Justice League, I would put yes on 10 pieces of paper.
With Daniel Bryan that thing.
Yes, I would be like, that's exactly what I would do, because I don't like Aquaman. I think he's useless. But in the DCU animated realm, he did not officially join the team until Justice League Unlimited, when we expanded to having the Question, Captain Marvel, Captain Atom, all these other characters that eventually did join the team. But it was still made up of the Big Seven.
Okay.
Or not of the Big Seven, but of the original 7 members.
All right.
Of, Jon Stewart, Aquaman, John Jones, Martian Manhunter, Hawk Girl, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash. Even though it was expanding the roster, the central focus was still on those 7 characters, because it was still about them. But you had these other characters that did, crop up once they expanded the roster.
Okay.
So, my point is that if you're going to do a Justice League film, we've already got Batman, we've already got Superman, we need to see Wonder Woman, we need to see something with these other characters so that the audience doesn't go, whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck is this? We don't know anything about Flash, we don't know anything about Martian Manhunter, we don't know anything about Wonder Woman. If you throw those characters in there and you don't have them star in individual movies with some sort of backstory, you're gonna fucking confuse people.
Wait a minute, before you get started,
the only way
don't forget, we do not have a singular Hawkeye movie, we do not have a singular Black Widow movie, and they are both prominent in the Avengers.
Yes, but you remember Black Widow was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, but that was an introduction. Hawkeye had nothing. Well, he had a literal shot out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. But still, they could eventually develop movies for those characters to give them some sort of a backstory, so that it would make sense.
But there's not money to be made with a Flash movie or a Martian Manhunter movie.
Well,
Wonder Woman, I get that. There needs to be a Wonder Woman.
They're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do something, because
scrap it.
If they want to do Justice League, you can't just have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. You can't.
You can. It's just not going to be true to the source material.
Exactly. It's like Henry Cavill said. He was asked about, is this going to lead to a bigger DC universe? And Zack Snyder's been asked the same thing, and they have both said, yes, they think it will, but Henry Cavill is on record as saying he would want to see a Batman-Superman team-up movie. I would be good with that.
That'd be fine.
Provided
you have a right
that Cavill plays Superman and Bale plays Batman.
Who's the villain for the Batman-Superman movie? Who's strong enough to take on both of them?
Well,
Darkseid?
See, that's a possibility, but if you remember, if you ever saw the World's Finest animated film that Bruce Timm and Company did, it was Lex Luthor and the Joker.
That makes the most sense.
That would make the most sense, and I wouldn't mind seeing that, which, by the way, it's a great, all the performances across the board in that movie. It came out in '98. It's great. I enjoyed it. Tim Daly, Kevin Conroy, Clancy Brown, Mark Hamill, they all did a superb job, as they usually do. But if you're going to make a Justice League movie, my advice to you, Warner Brothers, listen very, very carefully, is to look at what Bruce Timm and Company did with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. You've got 7 characters that have to play off of each other, and you can't just have them fight aliens. Okay? The superpowered villains or the superpowered heroes in the group, yeah, that would make sense. Mm-hmm. But when you've got Batman in there, it doesn't really make sense. Even though Batman's fought aliens before, it doesn't make sense for him to be going up against, aliens. That just doesn't... For a live-action Batman, that just doesn't fit. Not to me.
Didn't Batman fight the Predator and stuff like that before?
In the comic books,
that is
yes.
An alien.
In the comic books, yes, but not in a live-action adaptation, because it just doesn't...
That doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't work.
That definitely wouldn't be Nolan's Batman fighting aliens.
Exactly.
Not at all.
If you want to make the Justice League movie work, you have to make the characters, play off of each other well. You have to make the threat that they're facing real and believable. You have to use someone like Luthor or Brainiac or Darkseid for, to make it make sense. And you could do that, or you could do what, there was an episode of Justice League where Lex Luthor started the Injustice Society.
Oh yeah, okay.
Where it was Luthor, the Joker, Solomon Grundy.
That's a good one too.
I believe it was Cheetah, the Ultra Humanite. These are characters that would make sense. You could do the Injustice Society. However, instead of using some of those more superpowered characters, you could have it be Luthor, the Joker. You could have it. Cheetah would work for as an adversary for Wonder Woman. You know, you could put Sinestro in there for Green Lantern. You could. You would just have to make it have villains that make sense for the particular heroes that they're facing.
That makes sense.
Because if all of a sudden I see Superman battling the Joker, I'm going to get a little pissed.
Yeah.
Because, yes, granted, that has happened in the comics. Joker has gone to Metropolis, and he's given Superman a run for his money. Sorry, but it's the truth. He really is. I don't want to see that in a live... I don't want to see Superman trying to hit the Joker with his X-ray... with his heat vision. I don't want to see that. By the same token, I don't want to see the Joker trying to battle J'onn J'onzz or the Green Lantern. I don't want to see... Not that he couldn't, because in this particular episode of Injustice Society, called Injustice Society, which the episode was titled Injustice for All, the Joker took out Flash, and he took out Wonder Woman. He took out Wonder Woman with an exploding doll, and he took out Flash with exploding marble grenades. As Flash was, running towards him, he threw the grenade. He took both of them out. So, yeah, it can make sense, but I want to see the Joker going up against Batman and Batman alone. Just like I would want to see Luthor, even though Luthor could battle the rest of the members of the Justice League.
Yeah, of course he can.
But if we've got someone like Darkseid, I don't want to see... Even though we saw it in Batman Superman Apocalypse, where we saw Batman sort of, basically call Darkseid's bluff and win. I want to see Darkseid battling Superman. I wouldn't mind seeing him go tangle with Wonder Woman or with J'onn J'onzz, but by the same token, I don't want to see Sinestro. You get the point. You get the point.
It's crossing the streams.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
It works in the comic books and in animation, but in live action, it doesn't. It's the same thing with what I've heard with Warner Brothers is going to reboot Batman in, 2019. No, we don't need to reboot Batman. We've already got the origin story. We know how Bruce Wayne became Batman. You want to do new Batman movies? Have it already be established that Bruce Wayne is in his... If you want to make it in his early years as Batman, fine. Do that. But we should not have to go back and reestablish how Bruce Wayne became Batman. You want to make these new Batman movies? Bruce Wayne should already be established as Batman. He should already be in his career.
We don't need any more origin stories. We've got enough of them.
Do you agree?
Yeah, we don't need any more origin stories.
If they're going to do new Batman movies, it should be Bruce Wayne already in his career as Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I've also heard this. I've heard the rumor of... I know you're going to hate me for this. Batman Beyond live-action film. I know Owen is not a fan of Batman Beyond, but trust me,
not at all.
When I do my retrospective, I will point out that he saw we actually watched a clip earlier of from an episode called Out of the Past, where it was a Batman musical, and Owen loved it. And the fight with
it was cool.
with Bruce and Terry, he thoroughly enjoyed it, where they're fighting,
Very 60s. That made me very happy.
And they played a rock and roll version of the animated series theme song, which was badass.
That was over with me without question.
So, and it still brings a tear to my eye every time I see that clip. But anyway, I will make Owen like Batman Beyond one way or another. Just like next time when we go to a wrestling event, I'm going to make him buy a John Cena t-shirt.
No!
But that's another issue. That's another story for another day, because it's going to happen. But anyway... I've heard the rumor of a live-action Batman Beyond film, and I go to this. There's a website called BatmanOnFilm.com, and they seem to think that's the next logical step as well. I don't disagree with that. However, I've heard all these rumors about who could play old Bruce Wayne.
I know where you were going with this.
I've heard Clint Eastwood. And I said,
No.
And I said, okay, that kind of makes sense, but since Clint Eastwood's never been in a Batman movie, no. I'll tell you who I want it to be. And as Owen said, he knows where I'm going with this.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind if they got Kevin Conroy to do it.
Johnny Dangerously himself.
I wouldn't mind if they got Kevin Conroy to do it. Would you?
No, not at all.
I wouldn't mind that. I would be good with that. I'd be down with that. But if they didn't do Conroy, I'm going to tell you who. Michael Keaton. That, besides Kevin Conroy, is the most logical choice to play an older Bruce Wayne. It makes perfect fucking sense. And I'm going to tell you why it makes sense. Because if we're going to deal with continuity, okay, Owen's going to hate me for this, and I'm sorry that he's going to hate me for this. Technically, Michael Keaton was the first Batman. Because he was the first one that was in the first, big blockbuster Batman movie. Yes, we had the 40 serials, which,
they're interesting.
They don't
hold up very well.
They count. They do count, but they don't... For the purposes of this discussion, they're null and void. Make sense?
Yeah.
Then we had the 66 TV show, and we did have the 66 film. Granted, Adam West was the first actor to be in a major motion picture with Batman. However, it was probably... I don't know how successful it was. For the time, I'm sure it probably was.
Working on that.
But the one that everyone remembers are Batman and Batman Returns. Those are the ones that, took Batman to blockbuster status. Owen agrees.
People really, really need to give more credit to Batman Forever. I'm telling you.
Well,
Jim Carrey's performance is phenomenal.
Yeah, I know it is. But I'm just saying, Keaton's two films were the one that took the franchise to the blockbuster status that it would eventually reach. I mean, even Michael Keaton said about Batman Forever that when he was going to do that, he said he was standing in line to go see another movie, and he peeked his head in, and he saw probably what was maybe just a few minutes, and he came out of the theater and he said, I knew then that I made the right decision by not doing the movie. And he was right. He wasn't wrong about that. I know Owen probably disagrees with me, but he wasn't wrong. All right, I see you pulled up the estimates there. What do you got?
Well, according to IMDb, which is a great website to go to, since I don't have a box office mojo to look at apparently, the 1966 Batman feature film had a budget of $1,377,800. That's an estimate. And its gross was about $3 million, so it made its money back. And $3 million back in 1967 was probably a lot of money, I would say. I would say for inflation, I'm not a math guy, as you guys and girls all know I'm not a math guy.
Neither am I.
But I'm a lot worse, trust me. I'd say $3 million in 1967 would be roughly... God, I'm probably way off on this. 25, 30 million now?
Probably.
About 30 million now.
Pull up the estimates for Batman 89.
There's no estimates on this. These are legitimate numbers.
Yeah. I'll pull up the numbers. I should have said. That's what I meant to say.
Good God. Alright.
Budget of 35 million.
Opening weekend it made 40 million.
And then
it
you
just
see all the grosses
spirals.
from yeah, you see all of the... Okay, so in Reynolds it made 150,500,000, and I think for the 66 film it was... The rentals were less than that.
A lot less than that, actually.
Therefore, in my opinion, it was, yeah.
1,000,007.
Yeah. So in my... Batman 89 was a higher grossing film.
Well, yeah, of course it was. It was a
So
different
to
time.
me, technically, Michael Keaton is the one that really took this franchise to blockbuster status. That's why if Warner Brothers is gonna do this shit and do this Batman Beyond live action film, you either get motherfucking Kevin Conroy to do it, or you go to Michael Keaton and you pay him whatever you have to pay him to get him to play old Bruce Wayne. I would have said Christian Bale if Christian Bale were a little older. It would make sense if he was older. He's still in his, I think, his mid-30s right now. Mid-30s, maybe early 40s. But I think it's mid-30s.
74.
So yeah, it's mid-30s. Christian Bale's still too young. Keaton is in his late 50s, I believe.
Oh.
Something like that. Late 50s. I don't think he's quite on the doorstep of 60 yet, but...
He's close to it, because I remember looking at it.
But it makes sense.
Actually, I'll get it to her right now. Here it is. 51.
Okay, it makes sense. In Batman Beyond, Bruce Wayne is aged to the age of 80. But throughout 50s and 60s, from when he was in his 50s and his 60s, from what we know, he was still being Batman at that point. Until he had a mild heart attack stopping a robbery, but that's for the retrospective later on. Point is, you either get Kevin Conroy to do it, or you get Michael Keaton to do it. It makes the most sense. As for who plays a young Terry McGinnis and a young Batman, I'm not going to give any opinions about that right now because I don't really have any ideas as to who should do it, and I'm not going to, speculate as to who I think would be good choices. But because I think, in my opinion, the most important role to cast is not Batman, it's who plays old Bruce Wayne. Because that's the crux.
Yeah.
That's really the crux.
Absolutely.
Because it's still continuing with Bruce Wayne playing a role, even if he's not going out fighting the bad guys. That's the crux. But if Warner Brothers is going to do this, they better do their shit right. They better get all their eggs in one fucking basket.
Indeed.
Because if they do this and it's shit, fans, myself included, are going to shit all over it. It's the same with the Justice League. If they don't do it and they don't do it right, everybody's going to shit all over it.
They don't want that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want it.
You don't want to turn the diehards against the product.
Exactly. Do I want to see a Justice League film at some point? Absolutely. But I want to see it done right. I want to see it done the way it should be done, which is respectful to the characters and to the source material. I want a Justice League film, if they do one, to make Avengers look like child's play. I know that's a tall task,
yeah, very.
But I know it can be done. If it's done with the right filmmaker and it's done with the right actors. Because look at the Avengers. The Avengers we've got Captain America, we've got Hawkeye, Black Widow, Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor. That's 6 characters. Justice League has 7. You've got one more person to play off of.
They're not strong characters that people know enough about.
This is also true. This is also very true. Except for the big 3. But the Justice League, everybody knows who the Justice League are. They know these characters. They may not read the individual strips like, people, there may not be a whole lot of Flash fans. There may not be a whole lot of Hawkgirl fans. There may not be a whole lot of, Green Lantern fans or Aquaman fans or Martian Manhunter fans. But the point is that they know these characters. If it's going to be done, it needs to be done right, and Warner Brothers needs to not rest on their laurels with this and not rush things. Because if they rush it, it's going to be shit. It will be. Owen, offer some opinions.
Well, honestly, I am always up for a new interpretation of Batman. I was very...
As long as it's done right.
Yeah. I was very excited when I heard Christopher Nolan was going to get Batman Begins. And I was apprehensive, though.
Funny story about that, now that you mentioned that. After seeing Batman and Robin... God, I hate that fucking movie.
Maybe you should get Flashback to let you review it.
After seeing Batman and Robin, I had no faith in Warner Brothers anymore. When I heard about Batman Begins, like you, I was very, very skeptical about it. I thought, oh my God, I really hope they don't fuck this up again.
Well, skeptical in a good way for me. I was very excited.
I was skeptical in a bad way. But I went to go see Batman Begins in theaters. I only saw it once. Unlike The Dark Knight, which I saw 4 times, and then Rises, which I saw 7. But I only saw Begins once in theaters because I wasn't sure how I was going to react to it. I sat in the theater, I saw the movie. When I exited the theater, the first words out of my mouth were, finally.
Yeah.
Finally, after 10 years, they got it right.
You took the director of The Prestige, the director of Memento, and you put him with Patrick Bateman as Batman. And you were very apprehensive that it was going to happen. I mean, there was a great cast. I mean, you brought Cillian Murphy in to play the Scarecrow, and it was a really interesting casting at this time.
Morgan Freeman playing Lucius Fox.
That's a big one.
Michael Caine being Alfred.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman is Jim Gordon.
I mean, these are iconic characters that everyone knows, and you have a brand new cast of characters playing them. It's just like with The Dark Knight. It's like, obviously, I know we're going back. We're fast-forwarding.
That's the funny thing, too. When at the end of Batman Begins, when I saw the Joker card, I was excited.
Everyone marked out.
I was excited because I said, oh my God, it's going to be the Joker. It's going to be it's my favorite villain, of all time, going up against my favorite superhero of all time. I was nerding out. But when I heard about Heath Ledger being cast, I had never seen anything that Ledger had done before The Dark Knight.
You didn't see The Patriot?
No, I hadn't.
10 Things I Hate About You?
I hadn't seen anything. So I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And, I didn't think to go back and watch anything he'd done previously. Because when I went in, I wanted to have, I guess, unbiased expectations about how he would do. Because I knew we're standing up to the legend of Jack Nicholson. We're standing up, which were big shoes to fill. We're standing up to the shadow of Mark Hamill.
Okay, speaking of that, I got a funny little story for you to tell you, really. Jock Sampson is a good friend of mine, as you guys well know. You can follow him at Jock Sampson on Twitter. Who I haven't got a chance to talk to in a long time, because he's really busy on the indie circuit right now. He's doing really good for himself, so I'm very happy that that's going on. But he was a big Nicholson fan. He said to me that Nicholson can't be beat. I watched The Dark Knight, and I previewed The Dark Knight. I'm not going to lie about that. And that's an awesome secret that I wasn't able to tell back in the day. So we watched The Dark Knight. I got out of it, and I was like, Ledger's the real deal. He really is. And Ledger, we're talking Oscars already. And it happened, so it's okay. And it was deserved. Heels winning Oscars for supporting actor just works nowadays, apparently. So
Bale's performance should not be overlooked.
No, not at all.
In The Dark Knight.
Not at all. But everything was about Heath and about Heath and about Heath, and that's how it should have been. Jock went to this movie. It was me, Jock, and Zach Maston watching and everything, and we went into The Dark Knight, and we came out of the movie, and Jock just looks at me, and I'm gonna paraphrase here, but he basically told me that he was just. I was like, so does it compare? He's like, it's better than I could ever expect. He made a believer out of somebody that was all Nicholson all the time. And Heath Ledger really shocked everyone. So when everyone found out that Hardy was going to be playing the villain, for those of the people that didn't get to see Bronson, if they saw Bronson...
Which I'd never seen him in anything either until Rises.
If you would understand that Hardy was awesome in Bronson, that's where the Bane character really, really shined. He's hardcore in Bronson, so check that movie out if you get a chance to. Everybody was kind of skeptical about him playing Bane, but it's like it ended up working out, and it's just kind of like everything like fits. Nolan is great. He's a brilliant director, and he knows exactly how to make his cast work to the best of their advantages.
And he knows how to tell a story.
Yes, and it's a story that's completely realistic. I mean, the stuff that happened in The Dark Knight Rises, that stuff could legitimately happen. I mean, I'd love if they blew up Pittsburgh, but that's another story altogether. I don't like Pittsburgh, I'm sorry.
He's cynical.
I am, and there's certain people that have made me that way.
No, but I remember...
But that's realism.
Like I said, I was sitting in the theater watching the end of that. I was very excited. And then when they said it was Heath Ledger, I was like, I haven't seen him in anything. I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
And when I went and saw the film opening night, July 18th, 2008, when it came out.
Yep.
I had bought a ticket. I went with my friend Shy. And because she said, if you're going to drag me to a Batman movie, I'm going to take you to something that I want to see. And I said, fair enough. Saw some old, not classmates of mine, but some kids that had gone to Catholic.
That was a packed auditorium. I remember that.
Yeah, while I was still there, and I looked at them, I said, what the hell are you guys doing here? And they said, are you kidding? It's Batman. I said, I didn't think you guys were Batman fans. And they're like, surprise. And
Warner Brothers is good for franchises because they bring out the people that actually dress up.
Yes. But
hardcore fanatics.
But then again, that's not what this video is about. But anyway, I like your friend Jock Sampson.
Yeah.
You know, I still love Nicholson's performance in Batman '89. I always have. I always will. And I absolutely love Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Yeah, Hamill is
because my top Jokers. No disrespect to Cesar Romero. Not at all.
I knew you were gonna go there.
But it goes to me. Nicholson, it's Nicholson, Ledger, and Hamill in the top three.
Okay.
Not necessarily in that order. The order can be jumbled up however which way I like it. Just like with Batman. My top three Batman, Keaton, Conroy, and Bale. That's where I stand. Conroy is probably actually would go Keaton first, then Conroy, then Bale. So... But Keaton and Conroy can be interchangeable, just as Ledger and Hamill could be interchangeable there.
See, you've also another thing you want to talk about too, because we're completely off topic, because that's how it happens sometimes. You have to also look at it from the perspective of the performance that they're portraying. You got to look at it from that perspective. Like some Batman were great at Bruce Wayne, some Batman were just good as Batman. Some of them just suck. I know you're going to say the person that just sucks is the Clooney General himself, one of the greatest actors that ever lived, George Clooney.
I didn't say he wasn't a good actor.
He is a brilliant Bruce Wayne.
I've never said that.
He's a no, Shay does. He's a brilliant.
No, I mean I've never said he was a bad actor.
No. You're saying you don't like his Batman portrayal.
What I'm saying is
you don't like one thing about his Batman portrayal.
Clooney, yes, I've said this before about Batman and Robin. Clooney made a great Bruce Wayne. They should have put someone else in the Batsuit to handle the Batman bits.
Clooney is a great Bruce Wayne because he's too cool for school. It's just how it works. He's Danny Ocean. I mean, he plays that eccentric billionaire gimmick to a T. Because that's just how it works.
I didn't have a problem with him.
Awesome.
I didn't have a problem with his Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, his Bruce Wayne's phenomenal.
I had a problem with the other part.
What about him being Bruce Wayne and Val Kilmer playing Batman?
That I think I would have been okay with.
Because I don't like Kilmer's Bruce Wayne.
No, I didn't either.
It's other way.
I liked Keaton's Bruce Wayne.
I don't like that. I don't like that hair. I keep saying that time and time again. AJ gives me crap for it all the time. I hate Bruce Wayne's hair.
Because Keaton played
in the '89 film.
Keaton played a complex Bruce Wayne.
I hate that hair though.
Minus the hair.
Frizzy hair drives me nuts.
Keaton did a good job playing both.
I agree.
Both roles.
I agree completely. And Bale does the same thing.
Yes, exactly. Would I have been okay with what you suggested with Kilmer playing Batman and Clooney playing Bruce Wayne? Yeah, I would have, because for this reason. You wouldn't have necessarily... Okay, granted that when Kilmer spoke, the voice would have sounded different.
Yeah.
But that would have made sense.
Yeah.
Because, if you remember, when the animated series started, Kevin Conroy's approach was to make the two voices between Batman and Bruce Wayne distinct. To make Bruce Wayne sound one way and make Batman sound another way. So it would have been believable and would have made sense.
Yeah,
I would have been fine with that. But Warner Brothers, being the stuck-up assholes that you were, didn't fucking do that shit.
They could have had a stuntman play Batman, to be honest.
I've said that. How many times have I hinted at that?
Joe Ron stuntman could have played Batman.
Yeah, how many times have I hinted that I said
Numerous
a stuntman
times.
should have... Still, though, when, back to what we were talking about, I saw The Dark Knight, I said, oh my god, you know, that was the definitive portrayal of the Joker.
Yeah.
Next to what Hamill has done, voicing the character for all those years. And everybody, you know, the first picture I saw of Ledger dressed as the Joker in the makeup.
I wasn't there yet.
The first time I saw it, some people were like, he looks like Michael Myers. And, you know, and I saw it and I was like, okay, well, you know, I wasn't, like, critical of it. I was like, all right, it doesn't look bad. Let's see where it goes. But then, the trailer. The first time I saw the trailer, I can't remember which trailer it was. It was either the first one or the second one, where we actually got to see scenes and hear dialogue.
It was on I Am Legend.
Yeah,
I remember it like it was only yesterday. It was on I Am Legend.
The first trailer. And I remember I watched it probably... My God, I probably watched that trailer 150 times.
We all did. We all did.
Because I was in my second year at WVUP, and I pulled the trailer up to watch when we had a break in class, and the part that I remember that I still love is, little fight in you. I like that. And then Batman appearing and saying, well, then you're gonna love me.
So awesome.
And then, at that point, I said, oh my god, I want it to fucking be July, because I can't wait anymore for this movie.
No lie. The anticipation.
That is what did it. And then it's like, I remember I went to go see Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull with some friends of mine.
Oh.
And they played the trailer for The Dark Knight before the movie started.
Yep.
And I looked at them and said, you know what? I'm good. I don't even have to see this movie. I can get up and go now. I saw the trailer for The Dark Knight. I'm good.
It's just the J line from Strike Back comes to mind. It's like, dude, I just filled the cup.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they did in '89, where you know, people would go see movies they didn't care about just to see the trailer for Batman '89.
Yeah,
and then they would get up and leave the theater.
Yeah, exactly. They did it with The Dark Knight.
I was going to really do that. I was going to say, okay, you guys can see Indiana Jones. I'm just going to wait outside. I saw what I wanted to see.
I watched that with Jock too. That's kind of funny you mentioned that.
And then, but after I saw the movie, I said, Ledger was the definitive portrayal next to what Hamill had done, and not disrespecting what, you know, Jack, who, you know, is, you know, the king of Hollywood. There's no disputing that. He is. So, again, still love Nicholson's performance to this day. Always have, always will.
It's great.
And, you know, I think he should have been nominated for something for his performance in Batman '89. But the point is that, and it was the same with Dark Knight Rises. I'd never seen Tom Hardy in anything, like Owen mentioned, and yet, finally, we got a true interpretation of Bane, not the piece of shit we got in fucking Batman and Robin. Bomb! Bomb!
Tell us how you really feel, Will. Here you go. He was nominated. Nicholson was actually nominated for a BAFTA in 1990, and because the BAFTA's done like a year later, basically that's how it works. The 90s is 489. That's how it works with the BAFTAs. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for the Chicago Film Critics Association Awards. We talked about that a lot. He was actually nominated for the Globe for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy Musical, and he also. Yeah,
they defined Batman '89 as a comedy musical?
Yeah.
No. That's horrible.
It's not a drama. Well, it is a drama, I guess. It's definitely a drama, but I don't know why you would consider that to be a comedy or a musical. The Globes are really strange like that.
Yeah, I'd say.
Batman's not a comedy.
No, unless you're talking about the '66 version.
If you're crazy, anyway. Batman's a comedy.
Oh, yeah. But And I see even like me.
Exactly.
I see that even Tim Burton got nominated for some Best Director awards.
I hate Tim Burton. Him and his freaking Bump Award sidekick. The thing is, Danny Elfman, Tim Burton, they both got nominated. Kim Basinger got nominated.
I don't see Michael Keaton on that list anymore.
Keaton is not on this list. He did not get nominated for Jack.
Which sucks, because his performance as Batman and Bruce Wayne was great.
Yeah, but you got a Keaton performance from that year, too. That was Beetlejuice.
That's true, too. But, I mean, again, Keaton...
That time frame.
If it had not been for Keaton...
I agree.
The character wouldn't have worked.
No, that's true.
Because Keaton had that square jawline, which was perfect. He had the complexity to deal with the character and the inner turmoil that Bruce Wayne was dealing with. And when he was Batman and he was in the suit, you actually believed that he sort of captured the neurotic Bruce Wayne, the Bruce Wayne that you believe would have to go out and put on a suit and fight crime.
I can see that.
And one of the Warner Brothers executives even echoed that same sentiment, that he captured the Bruce Wayne that you believe he would have to, go out. And plus, they made a lot of talk about Keaton's eyes.
Yeah.
In the movie, especially when they were wrapped in a mask in the cow. His eyes, when he was Batman and Bruce Wayne, were just dynamic.
Keaton was cold and calculated.
In my opinion. Because you kind of would look in his eyes and think, there's something, in there that, you're seeing that's turning and turning and turning, but you're not quite sure what it is. I think, to sum it up best, the scene in Batman Returns where he's walking the streets and he's taking the bomb off of the clown, and he comes across the big the big clown who says yeah, go ahead and hit me, and so he punches him and the clown just laughs, and Keaton shifts his eyes down and the bomb is attached to the guy's chest, and then you see him go, and he does that evil smile.
That was freaky.
And he does that smile and then knocks him into the and then punches him, and the guy blows up. That's what I mean by, if you look at Keaton's eyes, that's what I mean by, he's the kind of Batman that, could, fight you with a smile.
Agreed.
Sort of thing. Well, okay, that's not really, but what I should have said is that Keaton's eyes were very, very dynamic when he was both Bruce Wayne and Batman, because you could see the inner turmoil that he was dealing with. And plus, in the fight scenes when he was Batman, even though they did have stuntmen and Michael Keaton tried to do all of his own stunts, Michael Keaton held his own in those action sequences.
I agree.
He really did. I believe that was Michael Keaton kicking the snot out of those guys.
Oh, yeah. Especially
in Batman Returns when he's fighting the Red Triangle Circus Gang in the streets of Gotham City. That was just, that was believable to me, hell, he was, and then, again, the creepy smile with all that, that was sort of like icing on the cake.
Agreed.
A little bit. So, basically, my opinion is that, like I said, going back to not having seen Tom Hardy in anything, his Bane was exactly how I envisioned Bane to be as he was created by Chuck Dixon in 1993 when the Nightfall saga happened.
Exactly.
It was exactly that way. So, again, it's a prime example of Warner Brothers, when they rest on their laurels, they suck. They produce shit. When they don't, and they actually care and they actually give a damn, they produce quality stuff. So, I think I pretty much shot my wad on this, so I've said what I've needed to say.
Any ideas?
But, what were you going to say?
Any ideas for our Will-Ditorial for next week?
Not quite yet. Like I said, I'm working on this animated series retrospective, and this is going to be a tall task, because watching all the episodes of the animated series and then having to go through and pick episodes of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited where Batman is prominently featured as well as episodes of Batman Beyond where that, you know, I like or don't like. That's going to be a tall order. So that's coming up in the next few months, but it's going to be a while. So I don't really have any other ideas for any right now, but when I do, I'll let you know.
And then Mr. Flashback has got some stuff.
Yes, he does. He'll be making his return very, very soon, and I'm sure all of you have missed him, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't missed all of you.
Probably not.
So, bottom line, if Sir Owen would be so kind as to pull up the bottom line about what I think about Warner Brothers. I hate Warner Brothers, period, end of sentence. If you're curious as to exactly why, I hope you enjoy watching this video, and you can tweet me. My Twitter handle is @WPAD, and I also have a Facebook. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me rant about Warner Brothers, and until next time, catch you all later.